Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We had some technical difficulties earlier and got those straightened out. Glad you could join us here on Wednesday night, opening season. A lot going on. We're going to talk to a lot of coaches tonight. We're going to kick it off in Alabama. Going to talk to the head coach of the Helena Huskies, head coach Richie Busby. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm good, Stork. How y'all doing up there?
It's great. It's great. I mean, the weather is unbelievable here in the state of Tennessee today. I mean, in the Volunteer State. I mean, it was one of those days. I strolled over to Oakland earlier today for lunch and interviewed head coach Kevin Creasy, and he had the indoor building, had it all opened up and letting air go through it. And, it's a chance, normally in this time of year, you don't get to open your facilities up because you're trying to keep air conditioning in, but with a day like today, you kind of want to let fresh air roll through there because you know how boys are as the sweat starts rolling, and boy, things can get pretty rank quick if you don't keep that under control. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the 2024 season, and what's been going on down in Helena?
Well, it was mighty nice down here at 6 o'clock this morning, our normal practice time. So it was in the low 60s, and just enough to make you mad because there's probably about 5-6 more weeks of unbearable heat. But one thing about us going in the mornings, we don't necessarily have to deal with that a lot, so that's a good thing.
Well, it gives your guys a chance to take a little break in the afternoon and get home and do some things that may need to be done at the house, and I'm sure the parents of the Helena Huskies kind of enjoy that at this time of the year when things are still happening around the home.
Absolutely, and we've been doing it 6 years now out of my 7 there, and I just kind of common to them now. And like you said, a lot of our kids get a chance to work and do things that a lot of high school football players don't get to do, but they also get to get up at 5 a.m., so it's, it's 6 one, half dozen of the other.
Well, it's also a disciplinary thing. I mean, when you get out in the working world, what are you going to do? You're going to get up at, 5, 6 o'clock,
You're going to get up and go to work. That's what
right.
We tell them. So our parents have embraced it. They really like it, and teach us so much, so many more things than just football. And our teachers told us that they're better in school. They're up, and they're active. They eat breakfast when we get through with practice. That's mandatory, and the parents like it. They seem to they go to bed a little earlier. They're not on those video games. So not all of them. Some of them are still hard-headed enough, think they can stay up all night. But it's been good to us, and I see a lot of teams in Alabama. I get calls monthly about, how do we do things? How do we fit all that in? And I hear more and more teams do it. And I think it's a lot safer. And as we see, we've had a couple heat issues here in Alabama at different schools, and I think if the counselors and the administrators can make it work, I think it's a good thing for a lot of reasons.
Well, and you're also an athletic director, so you fully understand all sports. So do you encourage any of the other sports to try to go early in the spring? And is Helena active at that hour early in the spring?
Yeah, well, no, we're big, all year long. So what we had to do just to make the gym space and weight room space, football, men's basketball, wrestling all go in the morning, so it kind of alleviates the strain on the facilities as far as the number of athletes that are out there in the afternoon. And so we've kind of got that worked out, and it's good for basketball because if you got a football player playing basketball, the semester hadn't ended, so you can't switch his classes. But if basketball's in the morning, he just moves over to that role come November or whenever that happens. So we've kind of gotten to a sweet spot there where we've got sports that cross over in the morning, all the men's sport, and then the women's mostly have the facilities in the afternoon, and they're not there till 8, 9 o'clock at night waiting on a gym.
Well, and what's that do for Helena High School as a logistics standpoint as far as getting in there early, opening the school, and kids being able to do other departments and, other things? There's other activities, I'm sure, that are going on just besides sports, and so it gives chance for kids to get on up and like you said, get involved.
Yeah, and since we've started doing it, and it's not any tip to our hat, but I mean, like you said, there's been other sports that have come to us wanting to do it. Of course, we can't accommodate everything. It'd put us back in the situation we were in, but yeah, a lot of stuff happens on our campus. You've been to Helena, there's 2 ways in, 2 ways out, and I think the parents like it. a lot because they can drop their kids off at the field house at 5:45 and they can head on to Birmingham, which is probably about 35 minutes in traffic, so it's been really good. I mean, there's been a few little things we've had to work through, but for the most part, it's been 90% positive. And, the things we worried about doing it was, were we going to be in condition? Well, if you look at temperature at 7 o'clock at night, it's about the same as 7 o'clock in the morning. And I worried about them being, sleeping in class. That was my biggest thing that I thought was going to hurt us and make them, go, hey, we can't do this. But it's been the right opposite. So it's been good. And, we have them. There's not a lot of distractions going on in the morning. I said, you don't have the track team running around, and it's just us there. We put the music on, get them going. We feed them when they come in. They have protein bars, and then we all go to breakfast before school, which is, the meal that high school kids are going to try to skip, but it's really the most important meal.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it comes to, the meal is just important for hydration as drinking fluids. So there's just been a lot of positives to it.
Well, I can tell you this. In my early years, Max Wolke used to lecture me about the diesel motor of a man and how you got to get up and pump food into it. And I mean, on and on and on about how important breakfast was. I learned that in the early days of filming in football and being involved. Well, let's get to Helena. Defensively, How are you going to look, Coach? I mean, you're young. You lost a lot of guys, but defensively, how are you going to look?
Well, we have 8 kids that are playing college football this year off the team last year, and 5 of those were on the defensive side. Our middle linebackers at Clemson, our outside backers at Memphis. We got a couple secondary guys. So we're going to start 8 seniors on defense with 3 sophomores at linebacker. Our linebacker core is extremely young, and we're still moving people around trying to find the right group. And everybody says, well, you start 8 seniors. Well, there's about 4 or 5 of those that didn't start last year as juniors, and that can be misleading, I'm not saying anything bad, but if they were really, really talented, they probably would have started as a junior.
Yeah.
But they're good players, and we were blessed to have some good ones last year. So, we're still piecing that together offensively. I think, maybe our strength early on. We lost our tailback to Murray State. He actually won the starting job and will play next Thursday night on the SEC Network against Missouri as a true freshman. That's pretty special. So we had to replace him, but we have a good one that was there with him. So offensively, if our quarterback, we're replacing our quarterback, and we're going to replace him with a junior, Nate Ferguson. And if he can get some things going, I think our receiving corps might be the best group of receivers I've had there. Our O-line, we returned three starters there, so we're going to have to carry the load a little bit until our defense gets their feet under them and can get going. And we have a great kicker. Our kicker is probably, if he's not the best in the state, he's second best in the state of Alabama, in my opinion. He does all 3 things, very valuable. We have to lean on our special teams. But, in high school, if you can get kids to buy into special teams, it's a big, big positive. So we got a couple sides, 2 of the 3 phases. We got to help the defense out till we figure out what we're doing over there.
I can honestly say here in Rutherford County, if you do not focus on special teams, the Oakland football team will kill you. Kevin Creasy is a specialist at that, and he loves to light you up and cause a fumble and send attackers on a punt. Oh, yeah. But, it's a third of the game, and if you're not prepared, whether it be punt return, kickoff return, all those facets of the game, you can get burned quickly, and it's a turnaround play. Special teams is such an energy generator to the crowd.
Yeah, and if you can get your, and I'm sure at Oakland he's gotten those kids to buy in for years doing that, and it's something they probably enjoy being on special teams. Some kids these days think being on special teams is a punishment. But it's like I tell the guys that are hoping to play at the next level, I said, guys, when you go into a program as a young guy, the first thing you're going to do is be on special teams. And if you can play them in high school and they see that on film, well, that's another, notch there that says, hey, this guy can come in and he might not be able to play in the secondary the first year, but we know he can help us in special teams. So try to get them going. And like I said, if you can get it in your program and get it instilled and make it a thing of pride, it's definitely a huge advantage.
Well, it wouldn't be called special teams if it wasn't special to the game. My goodness.
Well, we all tell them. We all tell them, but you know how that is.
Common sense will tell you that, Coach. Well, you're off this week, and it puts a little pressure on you. You said this, and I do want you to talk about it before we close out. You're off. We'll talk to you next week as you catch McAdory. And if for you kids at home, let's get a little lesson. Who played at McAdory that is the world's greatest athlete ever to walk the face of the earth? That's Bo Jackson. So that's a little history lesson. And you're going away, so you're going up there.
That's right.
And so
and it's as a crow flies, it's only about 7 or 8 miles right over the hill, right down there. So. Be a good rivalry. We hadn't played them in a couple of years. Last time we played them, we beat them in double overtime, which is just a great high school game. And they're talented, fast, and over the last 30 years, I think they've averaged 9-10 wins a season. So they know how to play football over there.
Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough. We're going to let you go. As always, we appreciate you being on Inside the Headset as we get ready to march through the 2024 season. You're always on the show. We appreciate you, and always a pleasure to have you. And talk a little bit about a different phase of the game as it moves through the state of Alabama. Still play with 11 players, but I can tell you this: if you've never been down to watch a 7A football game or a 6A football game in the state of Alabama, I mean, they're all big and they're all fast, and it's a lot of fun. I can honestly say that. But anyway, appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you, Storr. Good luck to all the guys up there in Tennessee. Look forward to talking to you next week, and go Huskies.
Well, come up and join us on the broadcast Friday. We're going to be out at Rockville. We'd love to have you.
I gotta go. I gotta go scout, man. If I don't, then I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, I forget. All right. Let you go, Coach. Take care.
All right.
See you. Bye.
All right, Storr. See you, man.
All right, bye.